Ever stop to think about what happens when you just disappear from someone's life? I'm not talking about taking a step back or subtly pulling away. I'm talking about a complete disappearance. No texts, no calls, no contact. What would they really feel when you're gone? In a world where people often take others for granted, there's one surefire way to shift the power dynamic. You vanish. And believe me, their world will collapse. If you've ever been in a situation where someone has taken your presence for granted, where they've treated you as an option instead of a priority, this message is for you. Today, we're going deep into a concept that can completely alter the way you see relationships and self-worth. We'll break down the emotional stages someone goes through when you disappear. By the end of this video, you'll understand why sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away, silently and firmly. So if you're ready to step into your power, reclaim your self-worth, and stop being an option, type, "I'm done being an option," in the comments below. Trust me, by the end of this, you won't ever be anyone's second choice again. Stay tuned, because there's a bonus, stage number 10, that you won't want to miss. Let's dive in. Number 1. The sting of rejection. This is where the emotional ripple begins. They never saw it coming. In their minds, you were always going to be there. You were the one who cared, the one who showed up, the one who made sure things worked. You were their safety net. But when you disappear, it's not just about being physically absent. It's about the emotional absence. The comfort, the validation, the constant availability, all of it vanishes. They suddenly realize they're on their own, and it stings deeper than they could have imagined. Here's the thing, people often take for granted those who are always around, never truly valuing their constant presence. When you leave without a word, you strip them of their security blanket. That sense of control they've relied on, gone, and that's when panic begins to set in. You see, the truth is, they never appreciated what they had until it was too late. But let them feel that sting. Let them sit with the loss. You don't owe them any explanation. The silence speaks louder than any words could. Number 2, the void of missing you. Once the sting fades, the emptiness begins. It's like something is missing from their life, but they can't quite figure out what it is. They might have convinced themselves they wouldn't care if you left. But now, they realize they were wrong. They go through their day to day, but it all feels dull. And slowly, they begin to understand you were the one who brought warmth, energy, and meaning to their life. You were the one who made things easier, more fulfilling. They'll try to fill that void. They might distract themselves with others, work, or hobbies, but nothing quite fills the space you left behind. They're left chasing a feeling they can't recreate with anyone else. That's when the regret creeps in. They'll wish they'd valued you more, but by then, it's too late. Make sure when you vanish, it's without a trace. Block them, cut off access, and ensure they can't peek into your life. Let the void grow, let them miss you, and let them feel the weight of that absence. Number 3, the desperate curiosity. By now, the absence of your presence starts gnawing at them. Curiosity turns into obsession. They'll want to know what you're doing, who you're with, and why you've cut them off. In the age of social media, this becomes even more intense. They'll check your profiles, scroll through your posts, anything to catch a glimpse of your life. But here's the kicker. You've gone dark. You've left them in the unknown. Why does this hurt so much? Because human beings hate uncertainty. They'll start imagining the worst. Have they moved on? Are they happier without me? Their minds will run wild with thoughts they can't control, and the silence you provide, That's your weapon. Don't feed their curiosity. Stay silent. Every time they check for a sign of life from you and find nothing, the frustration grows. You have the upper hand now. Number 4, the weight of self-reflection. Eventually, after the confusion and panic settle, they turn inward. They start reflecting on their own actions, and that's when the guilt hits. Did they take you for granted? Were they too cold, too distant? Could they have done things differently? The worst part? There's no one to blame but themselves. You're not there to argue with, to explain things, or to smooth over their mistakes. The guilt festers, and they can't escape it. The more they reflect, the more they realize they messed up, and that realization is crushing. But you know what? This is the hard lesson they need to learn. Don't try to comfort them. Don't try to explain why you left. Let them sit with that guilt. It's the only way they'll grow. Number 5, the urge to chase. Now comes the shift. After enough time reflecting, they'll begin to chase. They want you back. They regret not appreciating you. And now, they're desperate to win you over. They'll reach out, send texts, maybe even post things on social media, trying to grab your attention. It's all a play to regain control. But here's the truth. Don't respond. Don't give them what they want. Silence is your strongest tool. Let them pursue, but don't engage. The more they chase, the more they realize they've lost power over you. The tables have turned. Number 6, the illusion of freedom and the weight of regret. At first they may feel relief. They think they're free from you. But that freedom is shallow. The moment they're alone, it hits them. Without you, they're left with nothing. All the distractions they turn to feel empty, and the regret creeps in. They might try to replace you with someone new, but here's the reality. They can't replace the emotional stability and connection you offered. Let them sit with that discomfort. Don't rush back in. Number 7, the games people play. Desperation leads to manipulation. They might try to make you jealous, post cryptic updates, or put on an act, but you've moved past that. You're no longer interested in playing games. When you stop responding, the power shifts. You're no longer part of their game. They're left trying to provoke a reaction, but nothing they do will faze you. They've lost their hold over you, and it drives them mad. Number 8, the crushing silence. Silence is an incredibly powerful tool. It's not just the absence of words, it's a statement. When you disappear and don't engage, the silence becomes unbearable for them. It's a constant reminder of what they've lost, and it forces them to reflect on their own mistakes. In a world of constant communication, silence is deafening. Don't break it. Let them feel the weight of their actions. Number 9, the fear of losing you forever. Now, fear sets in. They never thought they'd lose you, and now the thought of you being with someone else eats at them. They'll begin to panic and reach out in desperation, but by the time they realize how much they've lost, you're already gone. You've moved on. They need to learn that you won't be their safety net anymore. Number 10, emotional independence. Here's where it all comes full circle. Emotional independence. When you vanish, you're not just walking away from them. You're walking toward your own freedom. You're reclaiming your peace, your clarity, and your strength. In the process, you learn that your happiness isn't tied to anyone else. Their approval, their validation, it no longer matters. You've learned to stand on your own, and that is your ultimate power. They'll feel the shift. They'll realize you've outgrown them, and that's when they understand that you're no longer an option. They're just a memory. You've moved beyond needing anyone to validate your worth, and that, my friend, is the most powerful thing you can experience. You've walked through a journey of emotional depth, and if you've made it this far, you're already ahead of most people. You're living like a stoic, practical, wise, and independent. Never forget, true power lies in knowing your worth and standing firm in it. Think about whether this channel is worthy of getting your love and support. If it is, don't hesitate. We will meet in the next video. Until then, keep evolving.